Because I'm a motherfucking star boy.
Now look what you've done.
Da, 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 da. Now look what you've done.
Look what you've done.
Because I'm a motherfucking star boy. No, look what you've done. Do you know any of the other lyrics?
No.
Hi guys, before we start this episode of Boys Gone Wild, I'd like to say we've got a new Instagram page called Boys Gone Wild Podcast where we'll be posting regular clips. If you listen to this pod regularly, or even just at all, or just like any of it, please like that page. We're trying to get it off the ground. We know how many listeners we got. I'd like every single regular listener to like that page. Even if you don't have Instagram, make an Instagram. Also, leave us a review and do all that. We forget to ask for that stuff. Well, thank you. That's all I got. Hello and welcome back to the podcast, listeners, friends. I was told, I think Alfie Brown once said that the podcast listener likes to be regarded as the listener in the singular, as opposed to listeners.
So it makes it more personal.
How would you feel? Thank you, listener.
It does make me feel warmer.
Yeah. As opposed to listeners could be a whole barrel.
Well, you're
of slags and whores.
Yeah, well, you're just saying it to everyone.
Yes.
You know, personalise the content. That's marketing number one. Rule number one.
We've got a new segment.
Hypes. Gripes and hypes.
Hypes.
You can have a gripe of the week, which is something that annoys you. Yeah. And then the hype of the week is something that you like or you back.
So have you got a hype?
Yeah, I'm going to read it out. Because I wrote this down at about 2 a.m.
Yeah.
My hype of the week is that you mostly see it. In fact, you only see it in videos on the internet. But when orchestras surprise their conductor with a surprise happy birthday on their birthday, I love it.
When have you seen this?
I think I've seen 4 or 5 of them, and the conductor goes to start and play whatever song they're going to play, and then they instead play happy birthday to him
in front of everyone.
Well, no, not.
Is it in a rehearsal?
I've seen one. It's mostly rehearsals. I've seen one done in a live performance situation, but it's mostly rehearsals. But they get very happy, and I lap those up. I think they're fucking great.
I haven't seen any of these. Which I bet this seems like a Facebook video.
No, I've seen them all over. You need to get them on your algorithm. Yeah. If you go on TikTok, and I'll send you some of the vids, and then you can get them on yours.
Is there quite a lot of them?
I think I've honestly seen 4.
Really?
Yeah, maybe 3.
And these are high-end orchestras.
They're very high-end orchestras. They're in very nice halls, and they goes, happy birthday.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a really touching moment. And they obviously play Happy Birthday very well.
Yeah.
It was Valentine's Day yesterday.
Yeah.
What did you do for Valentine's Day?
Well, we spent quite a lot of it together.
We did. We spent the vast majority
most of it actually together. We had a meeting, and then we had very sweetly had to go buy flowers for our galleys.
At like 7 p.m.
7 p.m. And something that can we talk about the?
No, we can't. Yeah, we could talk about it.
We could talk about it. I mean, it's a risk, but I know BB doesn't listen.
Oh well, Elle's definitely listening.
Yeah, I know. We got given a box of truffle chocolates in our meetings, and because it was Valentine's Day, it was like a cute, quirky thing. Then we both made a pact and agreed to give them to our girlfriends and say that we'd got them for them.
Because there were 2 options. Yeah, you could either go. We were definitely going to give them to them.
Yeah,
we did walk a long way to get the flowers.
So
you know, but there was either that we go in with you go for the joke.
Yeah.
Of. You give it to them and be like, by the way, our producer gave us that over lunch.
Yeah.
Or neither of us say. Yeah. But we made a pact that if either one did slip,
the other one
then they'd have to message immediately because then it could come up in conversation.
Yeah. It turned into a Matt Damon film.
Well, now you should probably tell BB because Elle now knows.
Does she?
Well, she'll know on Friday.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
I could probably delay her a bit because we're not here.
I need buy me some time.
Yeah.
Buy me some time. I need some time.
I will. Well, yeah, it's not released yet. But I've found, I think it's a nice thing, obviously, to buy flowers. You do the giving them the flowers is lovely.
Sure.
It's the walking around London holding flowers on Valentine's Day that just makes you feel a bit basic.
Yes.
You feel a bit like a mug for some reason. because it's like when we left each other, it's like a packed train. I'm just standing there in the middle with flowers, and it's like, oh, I wonder what he's
humiliating.
doing. There's something embarrassing about it.
Yeah.
And
well, after I left you, I went to the wrong place.
Good.
Yeah. So we're going to.
You did have more than one beer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was a huge part of the reason why I went to the wrong. We went to Red Dog Saloon, and I think BB knew that in my head I was thinking the Hoxton one, so she messaged me 3 times that it was the Soho one.
On the day?
Yeah, on the day, just because she knew.
So we were going to the same place.
Yeah, so she messaged me 3 times. Remember, it's the Soho one.
Yeah.
And then sent me a screenshot of the booking.
Yeah.
Saying it was the Soho one. And then I went straight to the Hoxton one.
Good.
And then I actually managed to arrive. I was really happy because I was like, I'm actually early for the first. I'm never early for anything. And I was early, and then I'd smugly texted her at Hoxton Station. You do know it's the Soho one. Okay, I'm going to be 15 minutes late.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. And then so I was holding those flowers for a long time.
Yeah.
And without any tunes, you really have to deal with the reality of sitting there. I mean, the first couple of trains I was getting, no one was having flowers, and it felt like some of you guys should have flowers, but the closer towards the West End I got, the more you saw
flowers,
sort of lanky guys with flowers.
Yes, it was mostly lanky guys carrying flowers that I noticed as well.
Yeah,
but it's obviously a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
but you just feel caught up in this. This thing.
Yeah,
you're just like
you feel like a sheeple.
Yeah,
yeah.
Even though it's not.
But then you're massive cunt if you try and remix it. Weirdly, it's kind of a lose-lose situation.
What, present-wise?
Well, like if instead of flowers, we just think flowers are capitalist bullshit. Instead, I got her books.
Oh, for the mind.
For the mind, because that's what, or just like something like that. Any of that sort of, because it is funny with Valentine's Day.
If you give a girl books on Valentine's Day, you're a bellend.
Yeah, because it's also implying that she needs to read more.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Because I think the whole Valentine's Day thing about, it being this capitalist thing and all of that stuff.
Invented by Hallmark.
Yeah, and it's like, I just don't know how, it's the same with Christmas. It's like, I guess we don't really have any other options to have collective moments. So we have to take our capitalist ones that we have. Well, like back before capitalism, you'd have your harvest feasts. Yeah. You'd have like Moon Day.
Yeah, that's one of my favourites actually. Yeah. I wish we should bring that back now. Actually,
you know what I mean?
Moon Day.
All of those sort of
Is that
things.
when we just celebrate the moon?
Yeah,
it's not like on a full moon.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Like March.
Every culture seems to have
a moon day.
Well, some form of celebrations throughout the year to mark seasonal change and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was outside capitalism,
Christmas
but now
before capitalism, weren't they?
But now everything's so capital. All holidays are capitalism. I just think you have to accept all the holidays because those are all we've got.
It's true, but the debate is about how to celebrate them
and how,
because you don't have to go into the capitalist thing, do you?
Of buying stuff,
of buying things. You can just have a nice. You can.
But I feel on Moon Day there was still a lot of gift making fajitas.
Yeah,
they're still buying stuff. Is it not?
Well, you have to eat.
Yes, so that's not capitalism because you have to eat.
Well, I mean, instead of buying...
So getting old El Paso fajitas is circumnavigating...
Capitalism. Did I start?
Okay, yeah.
I'm having them tonight. They're on my mind.
Exactly, you're a Marxist through and through. Old El Paso fajitas.
It's a statement, I don't even like them.
It's a revolutionary.
Well, no, you can just whip up a fajita kit. That's not...
A fajita kit?
Yeah.
Famously socialist fajita. I mean, fajita being turned into a kit.
Well, no, just they come in a kit.
Yeah.
The box. That is very socialist idea, actually.
What? That fajitas come in kits?
To each according to their... I can't remember.
Fajita and roses, the famous...
Well, it's like, I think anything that... If you can make an entire meal from a cardboard box, for me...
That's socialism.
That's socialism.
What? Because, yeah, and if you were like gonna... If there was like a design... So, for example, what's going on in Turkey and Syria?
Sure, serious stuff. Let's get into
it. Please fly a plane over and drop loads of old El Paso fajita kits.
Depending on the altitude.
It's cold. It's cold. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry, the altitude.
The altitude.
Not the temperature.
Not the temperature.
That was on me. That was on me. That wasn't your fault.
That's cool, man. That's cool. We're all good. You're going to be killing some people. You can't...
What, with fat... Oh, I guess you're dropping it from a height.
Yeah, and you can't fly... I think, honestly, you can't fly that low. I think, how high would you have to be?
UK causes controversy with latest aid packet.
Like, we wanted... Not old El Paso smoky barbecue fajita kits. Which don't even come with the meat.
They don't come with the meat, which
Or
is
the
one of the,
vegetables.
which is, I think that
So all you can have is the
Is the cold-
tortillas,
yeah.
the spice seasoning, and salsa.
it's very versatile.
It's
Can
not-
set up anything, but also it's a kit, so it's sort of like a toolbox.
Right, you're saying you can make weapons out of it?
You make tents out of it.
Armor.
No, you're thinking of Ukraine, you big fat dumbazo.
Oh, what did you say?
Turkey, Syria. I'm talking about the earthquake.
Right.
When you said tanks, I wasn't going to pull you up on it, but then
Damn.
you said armor again.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would they want? We need
Tents
diggers,
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're homeless. It's torn thousands of lives apart.
Well, we don't just have
You
to
could
give
you
it to
could
one
get
country.
tied tortillas together to make a rope.
Yeah. They could be fashioned into a hat.
What? I don't think those
A
are
tortilla
luxuries.
hat.
Those are luxuries.
A hat
We're
isn't a
talking this,
luxury, it's a hot country.
but it's
protection
cold right
from-
now. The whole problem is the cold. I guess it's like
Why
So
do you know so much about Turkey? Grow up.
I'm big in my news. I get most of the news when it's serious disasters. That's when it's like
That doesn't pull me in for
that's
some
what,
reason.
so like my biggest news. The thing I'm probably most up to date or like follow the most is Ukraine. That's my shit.
Really?
Yeah. What's your shit?
Rust, the film.
I love on Sky News when they get the ex-general to talk about, progression and back and forth. And as far as news things that occupy my mind and anxiety, I think Ukraine is numero
Much
uno.
like Russia's occupying Ukraine.
Well, yes. Because for what Ukraine were winning for ages, and it genuinely gave me similar feelings to Arsenal climbing up the table.
Really? That's quite sweet.
Every time, I mean, maybe it potentially
You want Ukraine to
potentially
win,
it makes like yeah. After a long time debating, I decided Ukraine.
Yeah.
I prefer Ukraine to Russia.
You took a year to weigh the options.
I wanted to hear both, and I've been.
You know what's behind the cameras? Just the wall is covered with sticky notes and bits of string.
Yeah, I'm following. You've got to follow the money.
A big question mark over
Yeah.
Putin.
It was when Sean Penn arrived in
Yeah.
Kiev. That's when it turned for me.
I'm
Do you
not-
see when Sean
Yeah,
Penn
yeah, it was a bit- yeah.
gave Zelensky his Oscar?
Yeah.
That's when I was like, you know what, this is serious.
Yeah. They're really sending in the big dogs now. I'm not like... Because I know Tim Dillon does a lot about this.
Yeah.
But they're just about, the ridiculousness of the Hollywood stars going
He's
on
always
and everything.
talking about bloody
But
stuff.
just like, when I saw the trailer for the new And My Next Guest Is with David Letterman,
And it was
and
Zelensky.
Zelensky's on there, I'm like... I guess it might help drum up support or something.
Yeah.
But
See, I don't blame Zelensky for that.
why?
Do you?
I don't know where I sit. It feels a bit like...
I sort of look down upon maybe celebrities for cashing in on it potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's not ideal. But for Zelensky, it does feel like... I think some of the negative stuff said about Zelensky, and there's this kind of bit... Weirdly, pro-Ukraine sentiment is being funneled into being pro-vaccine. It's like the same... Do you know what I mean? And it's like this idea of being a sheeple, and it's kind of... It's the debate has, because the vaccines rollout's over, it's now that those energies and divide are moving on to like what's really going on in Ukraine and all the money that's being sent to Ukraine and how we shouldn't be sending it and all that sort
We
of
are
stuff.
living in a hellscape.
Yeah,
It's fucking ridiculous.
but I think I love his green T-shirt as well.
yeah,
I rate that.
it's just like ready for anything.
Ready for any.
It's
As soon as your Parliament building is getting bombed on the regular, then you have to get
a
out
green
your suit.
T-shirt on.
You have to put a green T-shirt.
Oh,
on.
absolutely.
Yeah. But I feel because he probably is just trying to do everything possible, and I
Yeah.
think some people view it as like a narcissistic approach to
Yeah,
Zelensky.
yeah.
And I don't know. I do feel like he's probably genuinely trying to win the war that's happening on his fucking backyard. So like anything
Jury's
he can
out.
do, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
don't view it any of that
I just
stuff
wonder
as
how
cynical. And also
Going on Letterman helps.
maybe the cynicalness would be from there might be like dodgy deals being made, or there might be he might be using tactics that maybe aren't always ethical, but it's war, so he's just he's putting out all the stops as you do in war when you're on the brink.
Yeah, I agree.
But Ukraine were winning. It had a similar vibe to Arsenal climbing up the league because no one thought we'd do well this season. And
I
then,
wouldn't stretch this metaphor too far.
And then, But then I got really excited when Ukraine's counteroffensives, and I loved videos finding out about how ill-prepared and shit Russia was.
Yeah.
I think the most thrilled was, that massive military convoy, when it was like satellite images about...
I don't follow it.
Do you not remember? This was in the first 3 weeks of it. There was that line of like 2 kilometers worth of heavy machinery and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is when they're going to get fucked. They might have done all right in the first... And then it all got fucked and all the tanks kept getting fucked and getting stuck in mud.
That's good.
All those sort of videos.
It's the most embarrassing way to have to go home from
Yeah,
war.
and I loved all that shit. It was David versus Goliath. I was a big fan of all that stuff. But now I think... And then they just kept beating them back and it looked like Russia was about to give in. Do you remember this? Oh, you really haven't?
Kind of.
You're
really nerding out right now.
Yeah. Well, it looked like Russia was about to give in.
Yeah.
Because it was when he'd got conscripts in and they were just shit fighters. But now it looks like the tide is turning a bit towards Russia and it's starting to stress me out a little bit.
Okay, so do you think now's the time for the old El Paso boxes?
I think the main thing about Old El Paso is that you could do it on the same plane going to Turkey and Syria because they're such versatile kits.
Sure.
That you could use them both in warfare and in crisis management of an earthquake.
I think that's absolutely correct.
That's the love of a kit, and it is funny that they call it a kit because it is a kit.
It is a kit,
but it's still stretching the meaning of a kit.
Well, when you put together everything that's in the kit, you can't really make much.
No, it's not really. It's
not
funny. A kit is a kit.
It's not a very good kit at all.
Yeah,
actually.
a kit. What is a kit?
And if I'm in all honesty, Ratio, I don't eat the salsa.
So you stood by Old El Paso.
We've kind of brushed over that, but
no, and I'm coming back to. I'm using that to
big news.
Because you stood by Old El Paso even when I came in, and I knew you'd been a big fan of Old El Paso until I bought one,
right?
And I couldn't believe there wasn't meat or veg in there.
Yeah.
And so it is a con, right? It is bad. If they are wrong.
If you eat the salsa,
you're
probably saving a tiny bit of money. If you don't eat the salsa, it's pointless. Yeah, because I don't know why I still buy the kit.
Why do you buy the kit? Because you could get more tortillas for cheaper, probably solo.
The tortillas are good, but you can actually buy. You can actually in a lot of outlets. You can buy the tortillas and the spice mix separately.
Yeah.
So like a 1-and-1 thing. And you know what? Sometimes I buy 2 spice mixes because I love that spice mix.
Well, you think they're spice mix? You just don't think the spice mix. You just don't think you'd be able to make up a spice mix with that sort of.
Nor can anyone.
No,
We've been through this because I love Mexican food. I don't want to go to Mexico because they're not going to do it as good as Old El Paso. It's the barbecue tang.
Do you not think you could go? Do you think you could maybe go to their little house on the logo in Old El Paso? Would you not want to make a pilgrimage there?
It's an interesting point. I would be slightly concerned that it doesn't exist, and it's probably just a factory somewhere.
I don't think so. I think there's an old mamacita. No, not mamacita. What are they called?
Maybe that could be our non-scripted TV idea.
Abuelita, and she's
Mr. Paul.
Yeah, and she's making these tortilla flatbreads in the Old El Paso in the old little house.
Yeah, and
would you not want to go there?
I would love to go there. Of course, I'd go there
and find out the secret ingredients on what makes the Old El Paso spice mix.
There's something in there. Well, because I like the barbecue one. Yeah. Which as soon as something's called barbecue, it's like you're getting quite far away from the original.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a big fan of them. But I know it is pointless to buy them in a box, I've realised. Yeah. But another thing that happened is the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Crazy.
Because you're a big American football guy.
I'm not a big American football guy.
Have you gone off it?
I watch the highlights occasionally. I think I like the game. But I just don't find... I find my...
Do you find that there's just not enough of a community that you can connect with?
No, I don't care about that. No. I watch snooker.
Yeah.
No one watches snooker. I'm not on any forums.
Yeah.
But the game was fine. I don't really care about the game. Rihanna's halftime show.
Go on. I saw bits of it.
Maybe this is my gripe of the week.
Go on.
Look, Riri Slay, Queen Ree,
yada,
etc. I think she, for a long period of time, and maybe still now, is the most attractive woman on the planet.
Interesting.
I'm coming from a place of love. Riri, I'm coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
But
Bad girl Riri.
Bad girl Riri.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with her.
What? Because she'll be so traumatized that she acts out.
You have to check into a mental asylum.
Does it make her bad?
I don't think
It's
it
kind of
does.
like a moral value on insanity. It's controversial.
Yeah, which probably isn't the time or place to discuss it.
Mad girl Riri.
Mad or sad girl, Riri.
Is that girl?
Glad girl, Riri.
Yeah. Dad girl Riri.
Rad gal, Riri.
Yeah.
Dad gal. What?
Just the tad girl Riri.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Lad girl Riri.
Brad girl. No.
Gonad girl Riri.
No. We've gone 2 over.
Okay.
But so she did the Super Bowl halftime show. Announced she was pregnant. Cool beans, man. You do your thing.
Yeah.
She didn't do much dancing, and you can put that down to the pregnancy, I'm sure. I'm not sure how far through she is. We haven't exchanged that kind of information yet.
Bit of a fad girl Riri.
I like that one. But stop trying to think of them. So she danced, not that much, but that's fine. She's pregnant. Don't know how far along she is. Yeah. It wasn't a good halftime.
Was it
show.
not?
She didn't bring out any special guests. And
last year we did have 50 Cent upside down, was it?
50 Cent was upside down.
Which is one of the greatest reveals of all time.
It was unbelievable. It was the best halftime show ever last year because Kendrick came on as well. It was unbelievable. But everyone brings up a special guest. You know, that's always happened.
Yeah.
But I think then I read about it, and her opinion was, I'm going to prove that I can carry it by myself. And it was like, why are you using the Super Bowl halftime show as like to try and make a point about yourself? Why don't you just entertain people?
Yeah.
What's wrong with bringing up guests? It's the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just this. It annoyed me, this idea.
Yeah.
That it's like this is so narcissistic. Then I don't need any guests. I was like, well, can we have some, please? Can we just have a few? Because it was kind of boring. And she shot herself in the foot.
That was the.
No one's going to talk about it.
No. I think there was a New York Times review that was saying that it was
because she was pregnant, and she advertised her makeup line.
What did she say?
She just did some powder.
Really? Did she? She didn't interrupt the performance with an ad read.
No, she didn't. Brought to you by
Squarespace.
But no, I just what do you think about that?
Did you? I thought I kind of agree. To be fair, I only saw snippets, but the snippets I saw all looked the same.
Yeah,
didn't seem to like develop.
No, it was kind of boring because it was long.
But then I saw someone defending it, saying that it was actually an interesting piece about sperm fertilizing the egg.
Yeah,
and it was about.
But you
life.
get that in like I didn't go like, oh yeah, but I saw it. Someone said it after.
So the little dancers would come.
Yeah, they were calm. Yeah. they were calm. Yeah,
in a way they were.
What did you do in the Super Bowl halftime show? I was calm.
I was calm.
Yeah, but it's like but that it's a half an hour performance or something.
Yeah,
and it was just because of the way that they were dressed and just dancing. It was like this one thing.
Yeah,
there was nothing really new.
Yeah,
and it was just a bit lackluster. And I think don't try and be like I can do this by myself. It's like well, just get someone in.
Yeah. I haven't seen enough of the performance to make a judgment, but that's certainly the vibe I got.
Yeah.
And I found around it that there was, I guess what Super Bowl halftime shows can be used for is sort of like a retrospective for maybe an artist who hasn't been fully in the number one spot for a while. Like I feel exactly. But then I read something that part of her doing that is to maintain the idea of her memory as just being banger after banger. So like the idea of Rihanna is just these hits.
But I don't care about what it comes across as marketing wise.
Yeah.
I want a show. Give me a show.
Yeah.
And when you're losing that, you're losing your artistry.
Yeah, and I like Rihanna does have it. You forget, and I think there was a moment of all of us going, "Oh fuck, we've known Rihanna."
Forget how many
and you also remember how long Rihanna's been around because I think she burst on the scene like 2008
with Umbrella.
I was listening to that in the car on Radio 1 back when I was listening to those, and I think remembering all of that, you forget. So you think she's number one, big girl hottie?
Pretty much, yeah. She hasn't been much on the scene. But she is, I'm pretty sure. For a long, because look, you can have fads and whatever.
Have you seen her in the SNL sketch with Andy Samberg?
Yes.
Where it's like it's in a classroom and they're doing a song together where she does this amazing hit.
Yeah.
And then he when it's his turn to rap, he's called like Shy Jeremy or something.
Yeah.
He just mumbles and it's Shy.
I have seen it.
But I watched that and I was like, I've never been more blown away by a pop star's performance. Really? Just even in pop songs, it was like the star quality for her. From everything I've seen, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe the star quality. Yeah. It's the most I've ever appreciated her. Even after the Super Bowl show, I was like, yeah. But this SNL sketch. You have to look up the Rihanna's SNL sketch. She just fucking crushes it. It's unbelievable.
When it's stripped back and it's just her singing. And everything. You're like, there it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
But yes, maybe this is bad to say, but she does have a big forehead.
Who cares?
Yeah,
that's not stopping me.
No,
yeah, no, she is.
But I'm just saying, when you're talking Pantheon.
Yeah, a definite Pantheon.
Yeah.
For the last 20 years.
Pantheon of the greats.
She is, like, I think undeniably.
Belle of the Ball.
Yeah.
She's the Belle of the Ball.
Wow, we're giving out the Belle of the Ball already. we're only 20 minutes into the episode.
Yeah.
But I'm in fear of... there's a risk of us becoming a podcast which solely focuses on the pre-production of Rust. But...
I'm not against... I think we do need a brand pivot. And do you think maybe...
Towards Rust?
Yeah, we could... Well, I'm saying we could be maybe called the Rust Schedule podcast or something like that.
And we just go through the various...
The podcast is only about Rust.
Well, we could go to where they're shooting and try and understand what's going on.
We're a fan pod. Yeah. Or we do a fan pod of the script.
Right, nothing about the production or the shooting. Or
we talk about the production because we're interested in the story, but
it's about how they managed to physicalize the story rather than how is it still going on. So since Alec Baldwin has been charged with, I think, 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, the film's going ahead again. It keeps stopping. It's going ahead again.
Maybe they should make a film about the making of Rust and the triumph of the human spirit over all the odds.
There's nothing I'd like to do more, genuinely. I'd love to do a film about the making of Rust.
Because imagine that. I'd just like to see the trailer of that film. Like, you'll never make this film. God damn it. And then it's like, his wife's like, why don't you just stop making Rust? Yeah. I can't. This story must get told.
But... the man's been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
2 counts?
I think it was 2, but I'm pretty sure.
Who else did he kill?
Well, maybe he maimed someone.
Did he maim someone?
Yeah, because the bullet went through the director and hit someone else. It really was quite unfortunate.
Yeah. He didn't do another shot just to make sure.
It was just like, why is this gun going off? Fucking hell, it's broken. Just killed multiple people. But
I think when he started teabagging her, that was when it was...
Do you think?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. That's hard to have plausible deniability when you're teabagging.
He thought it was Halo.
But is there anything... My question I posed to you, is there anything is there anything in this world that can halt the production of Rust?
It hasn't been...
Because I don't think it's possible for this film to not be made. The director was killed by the lead actor.
Cinematographer, but yeah.
Was it? Yeah. And someone else was
maimed.
Seriously maimed.
Yeah.
I don't think maimed works, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what is maimed?
Maimed is really badly injured.
I feel like it has to be a hitting action.
No, I feel maimed has to be
like a cutting action.
Long term, forever scarred or damaged.
Interesting.
That's how I'd class it.
Food for thought. But yeah, so the lead actor killed the cinematographer and someone else. He then production stops for what? How long has it been? A year?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while.
It feels like last month, but they halt production for a year.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin then dresses up as the Gruffalo.
That was a big in the timeline. That's a bit, and I think when we make the film, I feel that's going to be a very key scene.
Yeah, we'll end the film with that.
That's the
non-linear.
That's the final shot of him. Well, it's more the moral dichotomy of whether he should dress up as a Gruffalo or not.
Exactly, and that's what we see as the key part of the story. Yeah, maybe we just end the story there.
I imagine him sat at the end of his bed, dressed in the suit of the Gruffalo, holding the mask in his hand.
His kids eagerly anticipating outside, but on the news, on the TV, it says Alec Baldwin has murdered someone.
I tell you, this is how the trailer starts. You have a shot down the corridor, and you can see him sat on the end of his bed. It's Alec Baldwin dressed as the Gruffalo, and he's holding the Gruffalo mask.
Holding the head.
Yeah, head. And it's
That's
like...
good.
And then it's like... production starts on the most highly anticipated film, Rust. Like news things are going around his head as the camera's zooming in. And then it's like, and then you have the shot of him you have the sound of him in the police
the kids coming in just saying, please take us trick or treating.
Police interrogation, all of that, all zooming in
when he's on the phone crying stuff.
And then he puts it on, end of trailer. That's like a teaser.
That's brilliant.
What would you call it?
Rust. Gruffalo.
Well, I think maybe we could call it something like Invictus.
Right. Why don't we just call it Harry Potter?
I won't be against calling it Harry Potter.
In the Chamber of Secrets.
Well, I mean, Invictus is the Invictus Games, but isn't Invictus...
No, it's a film.
Yeah, I know, but was Invictus about the human spirit? Is that the word Invictus means something?
Well, the film's about...
But the Invictus Games, Invictus...
It means something like that.
Well, I believe... Or what's that film of that prisoner of war in Japan, directed by Angelina Jolie? Unbroken.
Yeah.
So I want a name like that because this is a story.
It's about the triumph of the human spirit. Yeah.
It
should have a tagline.
Yeah. So it should be called something like Never Give Up or like...
Yeah, but I think it needs to be one word.
Or Rust, the Untold Story.
Well, that's I think we make we make a kind of a biopic.
Yeah.
But we accompany it with a documentary into it as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. Or you know how the Thai cave rescue, how simultaneously there was
today. Of all days.
As you know, we're big stands of the Thai cave rescue.
Yeah.
But there was a fictional film made with Viggo Mortensen and Colin Farrell and a documentary made at exactly the same time. So it'd be like that.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
A biopic and a documentary.
Are we doing both?
Yeah. We're doing both. I'll mostly oversee the doc. You can oversee the biopic, and then we'll swap halfway through. So they're very different directorial styles for each. But I'm just starting with, there must be a word.
Well, it could be called Rust or Bust.
Interesting.
I mean, it maybe makes it too silly.
Maybe we could play thematic.
We call it Bust.
There's a thematic idea of just like the film being like steel or something that would rust, but it refuses to rust.
What about...
Because it's galvanized.
That's interesting. Oh yeah, like some of the chemical processes that are involved in rust, like the it's like oxidize.
We can make it like Breaking Bad with the symbols, the references to chemistry.
All right, now this is a bold choice.
Yeah.
How about the whole film?
Yeah.
Right, this is a bit more art house maybe. It's from the perspective of Hilaria.
What, like proper POV? Right, so we miss a lot of the key action, but we do get to see the Gruffalo scene.
Yeah, and Hilaria is played by Rosalia. You know, the Spanish...
Yeah, that's good. Looks Salma Hayek. But...
Because I think Hilaria would have a really interesting perspective on this.
What
being Spanish X.
Yeah. Why? And there's our kind of minority voice.
The Spanish X community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or could call it Hilaria.
Inside Hilaria. Well, we don't often hear about what she thinks about it.
I think, yeah, it's true. And I think what's amazing about the Baldwins, I don't know enough about Stephen Baldwin, but certainly Alec and Hilaria, is both of them triumphing over the odds. Like, everyone's telling Hilaria that she can't be Spanish.
Yeah.
Has that stopped her one bit?
No,
not at all. If anything, it's driven her resolve more.
Is she going more Spanish? Or
I think.
Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
If let's say there's controversy that you start speaking in an Indian accent on the podcast, you get called out of it in the global media.
Yeah. And then I say I have Indian heritage. Is that
you've got Indian heritage? You get called out of it by the global media.
Yeah. What? It's a global news story.
You can't just go straight back to English because
I'd have to fade it, wouldn't I?
You'd have to fade it out because you can't go back. Because if she unfortunately for her, she probably jazzed it up a bit, and now she's stuck with it for the rest of her life.
Well, she can sort of turn it down very slowly.
But then one day, someone's going to be like, "That's an American accent," and then this.
Well, she could just say, "I lived in America for so long. It was quite hard as a Spanish person."
It's true, but we're going to smell bullshit.
Yeah.
People are smarter than that.
Yeah.
But you got to fade it out. You can't just come back in. So she hasn't actually gone ham. She's doing the only thing she can do.
But I just think there's a story in the dual narrative of both Hilaria and Alex's struggle.
Right.
Because they both have a lot of similar themes, which is no one thought they could do it in many ways.
How about, sorry.
Go on.
Yes, I agree. But how about when we're shooting the biopic?
Yeah.
Biopic. I always get that confused.
Also, Alec Baldwin's played by Stephen Baldwin. Go ahead.
That's a given. But so we recreate the scene where he kills someone.
Yeah.
Like, perfectly.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a bullet in our gun as well. So Stephen kills
Alec.
the cinematographer of our film.
As a promotional tactic.
And then we can keep this in an internal loop of keep making more films.
And then hopefully we'll find two other people who have such a fascination with our story.
Yeah, exactly. And then it'll be like the making of Invictus. And then there'll be...
I thought it was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Apologies, it is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Behind Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, or inside Hilaria. there's a lot of different working.
Or Rust or Bust.
Rust or Bust is good because it's the triumph. Yeah, it's the triumph of the human spirit. We've already got our themes jam packed because we've got the kind of mirroring with Alec and Hilaria's woes. One of them killed a man. The other person puts on an accent.
Yeah.
So that's a
strength under pressure is also a big...
Yeah, and so that's the kind of character development. But then, so the Gruffalo's the big finale with that. Yeah. But then we've also got the film being made. Yeah. Because it's a triumph of the film industry as well.
Exactly.
So it's really about not.
It's got a triple. Yeah.
It's not letting shit get in your way.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a human message.
Like involuntary manslaughter. What, is that going to stop you?
No.
If you're stopped by involuntary manslaughter,
well, there's nothing I've got to.
You're not going to make it.
In this biz, involuntary manslaughter can't be.
But I still beg the question: is there anything that can stop the production of Rust?
Well, I guess this is one of those things that only time can tell, and only history can judge us.
So because there's a lot of, I've seen it, like Rust is continuing, and obviously I'm straight in there, and it's with Alec Baldwin still to star in it, because they could have just gone in a different direction, and maybe Alec Baldwin shouldn't be.
Maybe have someone who didn't shoot the
cinematographer and seriously maimed another.
Yeah,
but
I think Stephen Baldwin was busy.
Yeah, so we'll stick with Alec, even though he's just been charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah,
they could have swapped it out. They're not going to. By the way, can't fucking wait for the film. Yeah. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
We should do like a watching party.
Definitely.
But then, maybe we could book out a cinema and we could do a talk before. And then do
a Q&A after.
A Q&A after.
As if we made the film.
But we're more like, because we're not critics of the film. We're more just impassioned Rust.
Impassioned
truthers.
We're truthers.
We are Rust truthers. Because we've always been Baldwin truthers.
We've always been Baldwin truthers.
But I'm becoming more and more, because it's not really about Baldwin anymore.
Yeah.
It's about how are they still making this film. But... yeah, I mean, there's nothing that's going to stop it.
No.
And I'm very excited for it.
Definitely.
He killed someone. They're still making the fucking film. It's going to be mental when it comes out.
Yeah.
In like a year or 2 years, we're going to see a trailer for Rust.
Yeah.
We're going to see... do you reckon they'll write out the scene when a member of the crew was killed, or do you reckon they'll keep that in?
I reckon
because I know it's in a church.
Yeah. Well, I reckon they'll keep that in.
Yeah.
Do you think, would it be rude to Alec Baldwin if the new cinematographer came in Kevlar? Is that rude?
It's definitely not polite.
If the cinematographer came dressed as the Hurt Locker.
You'd think so at first.
Would you not feel like
at first he'd think it was a distasteful joke? And then when he came back in every single day in the middle of the desert where they're filming with the Hurt Locker suit, I think then he's going to start to be a bit offended by it. I think it's probably poor form.
It's just health and safety regulations.
Yeah.
You can't trust Baldwin anywhere near a gun.
It's astonishing, really.
Yeah. You also want to talk about another similar wild boy with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. So Matthew McConaughey, we spoke about before. He's mental, and I
love Matthew McConaughey.
Big fan of him.
Because it's like, I guess I don't think it's ironic at all.
No, it's not.
I do genuinely.
There's no irony.
I think what McConaughey does is he basically does what all the worst people in the world are doing. What McConaughey does, badly.
It's true.
And it's such a high performance piece to pull off what he does, the sincerity, the earnestness. He manages to do it through pure being the most charismatic man who's ever lived.
It's true.
And it's such a tightrope walk that even like a couple notches less charisma, then he's suddenly a douchebag. He's David Brent, I don't know, whatever.
Oh God, yeah. But
he pulls it off.
He pulls it off. There's a video here I'll play into the mic, which is one of my favourites because he does sporadic videos every now and again. But he could be gearing up for a career in politics.
Which with that sort of charisma.
Yeah, he's unstoppable. But so a lot of it is kind of, I don't know, mindfulness. It's like pop wisdom about how to live your life and stuff.
Yeah.
But every now and again, he just does something that's so like McConaughey.
Yeah.
And often the videos, it's like, again, it's the charisma that brings you through.
Yeah.
Because the content is just nonsense for a lot of it. But this is one, and he's just got out of a like a caravan thing. And he's got a pan in his hand and there's a table outside.
Yeah.
Table. I didn't know I needed it until I got it. Thank you, Vegas.
So what do you say?
He says, I didn't know I needed it until I got it. Thank you, Vegas.
Oh, what was it?
It's an outdoor portable table. The hashtags are outdoor table, hashtag portable table, hashtag workstation.
So is he trying to get into that niche?
Well, what, the outdoor portable table?
What in case people are following on that hashtag?
Well, it's not even an ad. It's not an ad for portable tables.
It is jarringly short.
And actually, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
He clearly camps a lot.
Yeah.
Who doesn't bring a portable table camping?
Yeah.
That's not new. And he's like 60 years old now.
Yeah.
What do you mean you didn't know you needed an outdoor? What have you been doing before when you're camping?
Did he buy it when he forgot to bring it? Or
I don't think he's ever used. I think he eats off the floor when he camps. I didn't know I needed it until I got it. That's all he says in it. A table.
That's wisdom.
Is that wisdom or is that mania?
Yeah, go on.
But then the other thing, so he does these. He's got like a book out about how to.
It's called Green Light or something.
Yeah, keep on moving.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
But the best, he's been doing this new kind of series where he expresses wisdom in the form of a text message.
Yeah.
And the hilarious thing to me about this is he's clearly had to ask people to message them the questions because there's no way. One of them is just someone messages him saying, "I want it," and I was like, "Where's this going?"
And then what does he say?
"You need it?"
Question.
And then they say, "Yes." He says, "You earn it?" Then they say, "Yes." Then he says, "Get it."
Is it Alec Baldwin talking about Russ?
So I want to do Russ. You need it? Yeah. You earn it? Yeah. Well, get it.
That's the moment when Alex in the film when Alec's doubting himself most. He messages McConaughey.
And who plays McConaughey? Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
And then the other one, it's just because he's clearly thought of this idea. Yeah. He's clearly thought of it as an idea of love, like how to approach love and everything. So he's clearly, and I bet it's probably his wife. He said, "Can you just message me this so I can screenshot it from an Instagram post to appear like I've come up with something spontaneous in an instant?"
Yeah, how does that message go? Does he write it like that?
Yeah. The full thing, so I could appear spontaneous and instant when in reality I've been thinking of this for the last week.
Do you think McConaughey's ever...
Because there's no hi. There's just, and you can see it says today at 3:27, so it's the first message of the day, and it just reads, "How should we love?" No one's messaging that. Because I think it also makes him appear like he's this guru that all his friends and family go to. So how should we love? Instead of chasing butterflies, plant and grow a garden that bring them to you.
Wait, what did you say?
Instead of chasing butterflies, plant and grow a garden that bring them to you.
Okay, yeah. Well, maybe someone is really wrestling with that question.
Yeah.
And McConaughey clearly has the answers. I'd love to have... McConaughey would be up there with my top 10 favourite people to have his number. I'd love to... Well, just
who's
to be...
number 2?
I don't know. I haven't gone through the list, but I'm just saying vaguely he'd be in the top 10.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
I just love to be able to ask him questions like that and know that sincerely he would whip out an answer.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
What is the fear of death?
Yeah.
He would have a paragraph text. Or
What is it to be a man? I think he'd probably write a book about it.
I think McConaughey's never said the phrase "no worries if not."
That's true.
Has he ever said "no worries if not"?
Oh no, of course not.
No.
He's too alpha Chad.
No,
dad
he's just never in. That's what I
No worries if
respect
not.
about him. I don't think he's ever said "no worries if not."
And he's never said no to anything either.
No, he's the Yes Man. Jim
Yeah.
Carrey in that film Yes Man.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah, he says yes. I can't imagine him turning something down.
No, neither can I.
Yeah,
He's got a line for everything.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah.
I just saw it on my I just went to my next screenshot, which is
Yeah.
a funny thing of Britney. And she just posted. Can you try and decipher this? She did like an Instagram post thing. How many views of observation have you given to the people that are amazing? Billions. How many have I given myself? I'd rather go blind.
What?
Yeah, it's pure drivel, isn't it?
Or is that on an Instagram post?
Yeah.
Of Britney's?
Yeah. How many views of... Oh, and it's just that. It's just like text.
Oh, fuck.
It's just text. How many views of observation, which is my new favourite phrase.
How many views of observation?
Have you given to billions that were amazing? Billions.
What?
How many have I
Wait,
given...
wait.
How many have I given myself? I'd rather go blind. And then, sorry, to cap it all off... off, hold on, dash, Britney Spears. She's quoted herself.
Wait. Go back to the how.
Yeah,
go
but
back to
let's take this
Did you
slow.
say? Did you? So go first.
How many views of observation? So I presume that is literally just like how many looks.
How many it should be like angles of observation.
How many views of observation have you given to people that are amazing? I think I roughly know what she's saying.
So what? Translate that.
How many views of observation have you given to people that are amazing? Billions. How many times have you looked at someone that's great and thought they're great? Is what I get from this. How many have I given myself? I'd rather go blind. How many times do I look at the positive and great things I've done? I can't see them.
Yeah.
Or I'd hate to see them. I'd rather gouge my eyes out.
Yeah.
Now, I've been looking at that for a while.
Yeah. That's good. I guess.
I'll read it all in full
I
one more
think-
time. How many views of observation have you given to people that are amazing? Billions. How many have
Sorry,
I
can
given
you do it again like you're doing it at a eulogy?
How many views of observation have you given to the people that are amazing? Billions. How many have I given to myself? I'd rather go blind. Pretty Spears. Oh, and she's actually, sorry, I've just realised there's a bit, she's like captioned it at the bottom. So I would like, maybe that will reveal a bit more of the mystery. But I love the phrase views of observation when you can just say the word like looks.
Yeah.
Because that's when people are trying to be wise and they just use too many words.
Yeah.
The caption is, I guess I am one to hang with, which actually complicates things.
You're not clear. Captions are a great tool to maybe clear
up stuff.
Yeah, as opposed to throw a spanner in the works.
I guess I am one to hang with. Let's do the whole thing very quickly. How many views of observation have you given to people that are amazing? Billions. How many have I given myself? I'd rather go blind. Britney Spears, the caption, I guess I am one to hang with.
Yeah, but that's basically saying, that's a sarcastic, like, if I'm thinking these crazy thoughts, I must be a nightmare to hang around
That's
with.
a bit like, I'm a bit kooky.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly are, Britney.
Certainly, yeah, fair enough. She's a lot of people pretend to be kooky, but Britney, she's
full on
genuine.
kook.
She's a fucking kook.
It's true.
Yeah, I haven't really. Is Britney all good?
No, she's God bless her and all that. She's definitely got some problems going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's still talk of whether she's actually free. I mean, there was some videos posted of her that she didn't post that she looks kind of strange in.
Yeah.
She's getting her fanny out a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot. And like, what do you think about that?
But she does
I mean, let her. I'll never say take it down. Do your thing, girl. But is that a healthy person?
No, but what I did notice about Britney's fanny pics is there was definitely, in the same way Old El Paso works outside of the mechanics of capitalism.
Sure.
I think how weirdly unsexual her naked pics are, her fanny pics, they lack a sexuality to me. There's a feeling that in many ways.
I think there's some that are sexual. There's some that aren't, but I think quite a lot are, in my opinion.
feels-
It's like she's on like the short with like her hands in her hair.
Sort of, yeah, but there's it's not the types of, it doesn't look like the bodies you're used to seeing in capitalism.
Is it because she's older?
No, well, maybe, but
I think that's probably what you get, because I think they're quite sexual.
yeah, obviously, when she's literally posing nude on the beach, she's trying to be sexual for sure. But I'm just saying that the feeling, it does seem, you rarely see poses and bodies like that
Yeah.
in sort of mainstream capitalism. It does feel like a revolutionary act in many
What,
ways.
on the beach with their cunt out?
I think it's not male gaze. You know, I think there's some.
Yeah,
there's a
true.
lot of ownership.
That could be true.
You know, and that's definitely something you can give her. She's now finally got control again. Maybe she's not, you know, posting the most enlightening stuff.
But then my question is,
Yeah.
if that's why you wanted the control,
yeah,
is that something to strive for? I'm like, God bless you, sis. Do you?
yeah, yeah.
I just wonder about it. I look at it, I'm like, right,
Yeah.
okay.
Certainly, the Free Britney movement. I haven't heard anything from them.
Well, they won.
Yeah, they won.
She's technically, I believe she's emancipated.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
And I also
Well,
do.
she seems to be emancipated.
I do. I do. It is funny, the whole Free Britney saga, with how big the movement, how impassioned the movement, how emotional the movement was, and then she got her freedom, and she has the most unhinged posts on Instagram ever.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it is hilarious.
It's like, this is what you wanted.
Yeah, completely free, and then she's just fucking insane on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
want a pod with her and Kanye ASAP. That's what I want,
And what, and A$AP Rocky?
and ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, the three.
But yes, let's talk about what we were meant to talk about today, which was actually our big topic, which is the spy balloon.
Do we have time? That might be. There's lots of balloons in the air at the moment.
Yeah.
There was one. There's been loads of shit shot down over America as well.
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, there's something going on.
Do you know what's going on?
I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
I've read that people don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Biden was like, "Get that
it's very
bastard
vague.
out of the sky."
It's a bit. It's funny having big but vague stories. It's like
Yeah.
it is quite a big deal, but it's incredibly vague.
Well, there's the balloon thing, which
Yeah.
is separate to the shoot down.
The Chinese spy balloon.
Correct, the Chinese spy balloon. But
Yeah.
there's also, in tandem with this, there's been objects, almost unidentified objects,
Yeah,
that are flying about
yeah,
that aren't that big that they've had to shoot down.
And
'cause
there
they
was
might
no
interfere
Chinese
with
fellas
commercial
in-
air traffic.
yeah. Oh, okay.
There was no Chinese fellas in the objects or
Yeah.
in the balloons.
Yeah,
But so that's one thing, and that's, you know,
Yeah.
aliens. But the other thing is that,
shouldn't call them that.
oh, apologies to all the Chinese listeners. Wasn't calling it clarification, but the balloons, they have been there's been, I think, one or two of these Chinese spy balloons
Yeah.
have entered into the US, and they've had to like shoot them down and stuff, and they're recovering data from it or whatever. Do you think it seems odd in today's day and age that the Chinese are
Still using a spy balloon?
yeah, the Chinese are trying to spy on the Americans using balloons.
Yeah,
I was thinking about this in the shower.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Why is it a balloon?
yeah.
Do you think they're trying to like sneak in? Because
One by one.
I,
That's a lot of balloons.
a lot of balloons just slowly get further down to the ground. No, do you think? Is it like they can't obviously do it with a drone or whatever, because
No.
that'll be picked up immediately. So
bait.
are they like, why don't we just inflate some balloons?
Yeah,
And just pop them over there, because they'll
Yeah.
think, oh, it's the kid's just lost his balloon.
yeah.
Well, they're a bit bigger than that.
No, I feel
How long have spy balloons been around for?
so. Obviously, China and America are the two biggest technological powers right now. So there's clearly they probably thought about many different options. It is funny that they
That's what they
settled.
landed on.
They probably had a big meeting, and
Yeah.
it's funny that I reckon the balloon guy who did the balloon pitch.
He was the maverick.
Well, I just think he just gave a great pitch that day.
Yeah. But I think it took them a while to come around to the balloon guy's thinking, but then they realised he's a genius. So we can make a film about him.
The Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah, up in the air.
Up.
Yeah, up too. But why?
Also, what kind of reconnaissance can you gain with a spy balloon?
I don't. Is there a camera in it?
I mean, I'm on Google Earth a lot.
You are, and you'd think that could probably do the work
I
of the
do
balloon.
a lot of the heavy lifting that a spy balloon would do, surely.
Right. So maybe they should get in contact with you.
And what could they be wanting to know?
Yeah.
So I guess fly it over a military compound.
Yeah,
and
but then
you
it's
could
just like,
see in.
do you reckon they were trying to get it into the Pentagon to look at different documents?
Well, it's got
Massive
like a
white balloon just going. Zzz.
Well, they're controlling it, and it's got a little
that's
arm
my
that
other
opens
question.
the drawer.
Just takes a picture. But that's my question. Are they controlling the
And
balloon?
they do it on one of the people's birthdays on the Pentagon. So
genius.
they're all eating cake.
I just thought, that's just for Steve.
That's just one of the many balloons that are up for Steve. Little do they know that one of them is looking
It's
through.
a claw through the documents. But do they control the balloon? They can't just. They have to control the balloon.
So
if they're just releasing a balloon.
Their defense was that it was a weather balloon, which I also didn't understand.
Well, that's a thing. Because a weather balloon, because it can map the temperature and like the wind.
And then it blew off
cloud
course, which I guess makes sense.
Sure.
And that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
America seemed very suspicious.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much I trust the Chinese, because
Right.
they're quite mysterious.
Yeah.
And they've done some quite naughty things.
Yeah.
But so is America.
Yeah.
So,
But they're quite loudly naughty.
yeah.
But that's
Chinese,
because
for want of a better word, they're sneaky. And
probably should go for a better word.
Well, is anything sneakier than a spy balloon?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is actually.
Yeah, like a drone that goes undetected.
Yeah, or borrowing underground.
Yeah, in anything. In reality, a spy
sneak-
balloon is the least sneaky thing you can do.
I think the sneakiest thing you can do is have one of those Macintosh coats, flick the collar up, have a fedora,
And sell used phones.
and then tiptoe like this.
That's pretty sneaky.
That's as sneaky as you can get.
Yeah, you're right. With a trilby on as well, that's sneaky.
Chinese spy detected sneaking into this.
But surely they have to control the balloon. Well,
Yeah.
if it is a spy
But I
balloon,
don't understand what. Surely you just could tell immediately if it's a weather balloon or a spy balloon.
I think no.
I reckon I could work it out. No, I probably couldn't.
Well, no, you could.
Or could it? Because it could be a spy balloon pretending to be a weather balloon,
Right,
Which
so
is incredibly
so
sneaky.
the balloon itself
Yeah,
is a spy.
and then
It's
America.
a sentient balloon.
America, in response to the Chinese spy balloon fiasco, they then became deeply suspicious of any balloon
Yeah.
in American airspace.
Children's parties were cancelled across the nation.
They viewed all balloons
as a threat.
a threat to national security. You know, after
around
9/11, where
popping
they had
them.
all planes had to be down for like 48 hours.
No balloons.
No,
Just government
Do you-
officials go around popping them with pins. Well, if the balloons look, they'll have spies in the US. The Chinese will have spies in the US.
yeah.
Just like, why don't they just release a balloon? Then it's already in there. The question remains what they wanted. What could you find out from a
From a
balloon?
balloon.
Because I'm no expert in.
I feel satellites would be able to
Espionage.
do some shit.
Surely there's satellites that
Yeah.
can do that shit, but do they own?
And I guess China's response was that America's been doing this for years.
So
'Cause part of me
maybe
is like, how do you defend yourself, China?
maybe they threw the first balloon.
Yeah, maybe America, because that is probably a much more likely thing, and that is one of the big problems coming, is America basically wants China to stop doing all the shit that it did.
Maybe done, yeah.
So, it's an
Well,
interesting...
can we get in on the balloon game?
What, UK?
Yeah, I think we should be sending our own balloons.
Yeah, I feel you have to be at the top of geopolitics to be...
Have your own balloon.
I feel, considering all the domestic crises we're having at the moment,
Right.
I think you have to be a military superpower.
Do you think you've got to go through like the what are they called? The Security Council at NATO
Yeah.
to be allowed clearance to have a balloon? Like with
No,
nukes.
I think it's more of an unspoken... It's more of a faux pas. Do you know what I mean? It's more of an unspoken social rule amongst...
Yeah, okay.
you know what I
kind
mean?
of like if we were to
It's
make our
tacky.
own balloon,
It's tacky.
if we were to make our own balloon, the rest of the security community they'd frown on it.
It's a faux pas.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's not done
No.
right.
Maybe that's wrong,
Maybe
but that's just how it is.
Do you think every country has the right to have a spy balloon?
It's certainly not illegal.
No, but should every country have a spy
That's
balloon?
a different question altogether.
It really is.
Let me just take a moment to reflect on that.
Yeah, please do.
No, I don't think
Why?
I don't think a proliferation of spy balloons would be good. I think seeing how much problems have been caused by this one spy balloon.
one balloon,
Yeah.
and it's caused a lot of ruckus. That's interesting.
And I feel if everyone had their own spy balloons, I feel...
we wouldn't be able to see the sun anymore.
And also, seeing as this balloon apparently blew off course,
Right.
imagine where all these balloons would be going. If there was,
We got climate change.
you know,
to
you
think
got
about.
Ugandan balloons in Sweden. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, for fuck, I didn't...
Yeah,
the
Bosnian
winds changed.
balloons in Peru.
Yeah.
Right, but I think in my head,
Yeah.
the balloons are controllable, because if they weren't controllable, there's just a few Chinese fellas releasing a
Or-
balloon, or
ladies.
women folk, releasing the balloon into the sky and just hoping that it blows to America. There's got to be some.
I like the
sense
idea of
control.
releasing it and immediately going the wrong direction.
Oh, for God's
fucking no!
sake. They've been working on it. Been working on it for years.
Yeah.
But maybe you are right, mate. But then who should then have the right for a spy balloon?
That is a big question about Is it similar to the nuclear argument, isn't it?
This is the nuclear argument.
It
And
is.
if anything, it's more important because balloons are clearly more powerful.
Yeah. I guess it's just the most powerful win in the balloon fight. And that's what why there's such a big tussle between two major powers. And then what happened afterwards is that they shot down 3 balloons.
Was it 3 balloons?
Oh, there was like 3. There was one over, maybe it was one over Canada, just because they were being ultra cautious.
Yeah.
And I haven't found out what that is yet.
I'd like to know what they shot it down with, because I reckon
I think it was a jet.
which is a hilarious thing.
They
to see.
they scrambled the jet.
They scrambled this jet. It goes
It's funny
up.
saying scrambled jet as well, because doesn't it remind you of scrambled eggs?
Not
No.
in the slightest.
No. Okay.
Does it really make you think? Because it's got the word scramble in it.
Yeah.
Well, scramble has got a lot of different meanings.
Scramble
3 different meanings.
Scramble some
Do you know the 3 different meanings of scramble?
scrambled eggs,
Yeah.
which means when you scramble up eggs.
Yeah. I'm going to say 4.
Scramble jets, which means when you
Yeah.
quickly gather jets.
Yeah, that's great.
Scramble your brain
Yeah.
when you get confused.
Now, the 4th is a tough one, but there's a clue in what we've spoken about today.
Scramble your country of origin.
No.
Like Hilaria Baldwin.
No. Wait, maybe even... No, there's 5.
What are the other...
Think of one more military one.
Scramble... Oh, scramble radio.
There it is, radio and radar.
signal.
The
Yeah.
5th, we've spoken about what it relates to today at the top of the show, and it relates to Rihanna, but it doesn't really.
Scrambled... a mess.
No.
What is it?
It's an American football term for when the quarterback runs with it.
yeah.
So that's something that... There's 5 different. There could even be more.
But they're all sort of the same.
That's a lie.
No, but they all. It's not like 5 unique meanings of the same word. They all come from.
there's
They all come from
similarities.
the base meaning to mess up.
Yeah, you're sure.
Yeah.
Well,
To
scramble doesn't
to
really
scramble.
mean... Well,
to scramble.
I'd say the one that's different is the... Like summoning jets to somewhere.
That's partly why it's funny. Scramble some jets. And I'm like, scramble some eggs.
Well,
That's-
people don't go,
if-
oh, can you just scramble some jets, please? It's like, we need to scramble the jets. Okay, I hear it.
And then in the control center, I would be whipping out that. That's one of my known gags.
Just cracking the egg in the pan. Salt and pepper? Well, there's an imminent security threat. Like I'm on some toast. We've gone off topic. But
Like the balloon went off course.
very interesting. Very interesting indeed. But there's the image of the jet.
Yeah.
Because it got scrambled. It was like, quick.
Scramble some jets.
There's a national security threat.
Scramble jets.
You get the men running out in their jumpsuits and their helmets, and they're putting their helmets on.
It's scrambling time.
And they run up to it, and they're running, and everyone's
furiously whisking as they run.
and everyone's clapping them, and they go, "Yeah, go on, save our country."
Yeah.
They get in
There's
the jet.
these geezers doing this.
They get in the jet at rapid. Yeah, these geezers doing that. Get in the jet, take off at rapid speed from somewhere in the middle of the ocean. They're going at ridiculous speeds, going to find wherever they need to go, and they come across a balloon.
Yeah.
And they just, how do you shoot down a balloon? They have to do their least kind of heavy ammo.
Yeah, they do. You know, on a toilet when you got weak flush.
Oh, did jets have that?
That's what it's a similar sort of contraption.
So it's
you got like the piss flush and the shit flush.
Right. So when you see a dog fight,
Yeah.
so big cannons and stuff is
Yeah.
labelled big flush.
Yeah.
And the kind of bullets and stuff is small flush.
Yeah.
Right. Is that because...
No, it's the same. They use this just to save stuff. They use the same type. So it's like
do you mean
it's
the same type?
It's the same button as a flush.
Oh, so there's just like one
massive
one does
button
all of
and then-
it, and then a smaller one button within the button. Yeah, that makes sense. But then, because they would have wanted to like preserve it, so do you reckon? I reckon they might. There's a chance that they just like flew the jet into it. And just
Could be.
popped
Well,
it.
they're very skilled fighters.
They are.
Yeah, very skilled.
If
pilot.
they had propellers, they could have done it like that. But
Yeah.
jets famously don't.
Yeah, I think it was actually shot down, and then it was collected from the ocean because it was shot over the sea. So I definitely saw images of an aircraft carrier
Yeah.
pulling, it being on the deck of an aircraft carrier. The spy.
But then,
balloon.
I just want to retrieve some wreckage, and I think you just fly into the bastard.
Yeah.
Don't shoot it. Then they could have got some more data.
Yeah.
But that's why.
That's why we're still in the dark about what's going on. But then I also heard talks about UFO.
Yeah.
There's a very, 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 very small chance that this is the first time we've met aliens, which is, that is funny.
Yeah.
This could be
Because of the
this could be the first encounter
what?
with aliens. This has been classed as a UFO.
What, the balloon?
Yeah.
No, the Chinese have said it was a weather balloon.
No, because the one over Canada was different.
How many balloons are there?
Well, the problem is that, and they don't know what the one over Canada was, and there was a chance of it being a UFO.
Do you reckon it's just from aliens? It's just a balloon with a note in a bottle.
Well, they're sending spy balloons because it makes sense for aliens to send spy balloons
Why?
so they can spy.
But why would they use balloons?
Well, because they don't have Google Earth.
You're making some good points.
Do you know what I mean? They need to collect their own data because they don't have they probably don't understand what Wi-Fi is or like how to connect to the internet.
It would astonish me if two separate civilizations and planets have come to the same conclusion that the best way to spy in an aerial manner is via a balloon.
It's the collective unconscious.
Do you think it's something that binds the entirety of the universe together?
Yeah,
The
it's
understanding
like-
that the best way to spy aerially is via a balloon.
Yeah. Thanks very much, guys.